Now, never mind sex scandals, three-in-a-bed romps and High Court injunctions. It seems that the P60 is in danger of becoming the new pornography. For me, this obsession with people's tax affairs is just voyeurism, plain and simple. The Prime Minister has himself admitted that he didn't handle the row over his financial affairs very well after the Panama Papers leak. But what will publishing tax returns actually achieve? Why should we all have the right to see this? The Prime Minister's tax papers. The information on here should be between the individual and the HMRC. And what's happened to privacy? I feel this is more about a fixation of wanting to know about people's private lives, particularly those with high profile, than tax and transparency. But surely revealing personal information like this should be a personal choice, not something anybody should be bullied into.
Obviously, I'm in favour of personal choice when it comes to everything. And by the way, I don't think that was Cameron's tax return. I think that's just a breakdown of his income. He didn't actually release a full...
He didn't.
He didn't reveal a full tax return.
No, he didn't.
I hear what
you
you're
can
saying.
Have a look at it if you want.
Yeah, my eyes glaze over when I see a column of numbers. I think you're wrong. I think that the reason the pay gap between rich and poor, and men and women as well, is because there is too much Masonic secrecy when it comes to what people earn and are paid in this country.
That is a completely different point, though.
I know, but allow me to make it. And I think that if it was much more clear, those in public life, OK, let's restrict it for that. If you're in receipt of public money, I think you are duty-bound to show what you are paid.
What, a firefighter?
And to reveal... Yeah, why not?
You want to see a firefighter's tax return?
I also think proprietors...
I'm not in public. What are you talking about?
I think that we should... If we've got nothing to hide...
Why the hell have I got to show my
all
tax
I'd be
return?
worried, and everyone would see how little I learn, not how much, which is
not the last time I hacked
story.
your bank account. That's all I can
Sorry,
show.
Rachel, you've lost us there.
No, can I just tell you one thing? I think it's really important there is more honesty about pay, because look what's going on in the corporate sector as well. I know that's separate about... What we earn is private. It's between us and our accountant. I don't think it should just be between us and our accountant.
The argument about the tax return and releasing what is very personal information for me is one about trust. It's not about how much people earn. It's about whether people trust what you do and what you're paying in your tax. Now, for me, I've looked at this, and I know it's not his full tax return, but that doesn't make me trust him any more or any less.
But what the Panama Papers has just shown us is that the super-rich stash their loot in offshore tax havens. By the way, the amount of money they do put in tax havens could educate every child in Africa.
OK,
do we care about that or not?
No.
My heart is bleeding.
But, Rachel, so your point, the Panama Papers and some of the horrific things that have been covered up there are very different.
No, not horrific, perfectly legal.
Well, yeah, but
it's the morality. We're debating the morality.
We are.
Not the legality.
Now, that's a very different thing to what I'm talking about, which is a Prime Minister that, because he's linked so tenuously to that leak. It is tenuously in the sense that he's not
£500,000 from an offshore fund.
But they've declared all of that money. It is tenuous in the sense that we're comparing.
He was made to.
Just as earlier we heard these two lovely girls say how they came from working class backgrounds. Of all the people closest to this sort of the panel,
and
I'm not being nasty, but it's you. You're along your family
not
probably
one penny.
Okay, but they are.
How dare you?
But is there anything wrong with inheriting?
No. The point I'm making is good on people who make money, good on people who explore all these taxes.
It's not a crime to be rich and earn lots of money.
It's almost green-eyed jealousy you're showing it. I want to see how much that Prime Minister makes. I want to see how much journalists make. Why?
No, I think there's a he who pays the piper calls the tune point, which I'd like to make, which is this. You need to see where the money is coming from, because it helps you understand why people are doing certain things. Why did Cameron say in 2013, I'm not going to regulate offshore tax havens? Now we maybe know that.
He still wouldn't come in the tax return anyway. So when I think of this whole subject, I think you've always got to ask yourself, what are you hoping to achieve? So that's go right back to basics.
Transparency and fairness in a more equal society,
If somebody's hiding something, it won't be on their tax return anyway.
No, but that is a problem. I agree. It doesn't show up anything offshore or in trust.
But so I sit there, I'm a right nosy so-and-so, so I'd absolutely relish like what they do in Norway when all of the tax returns are public. And no, hang on, I'd relish it, but
that really is your porn.
No, I would relish it because I'm nosy. Now, that is exactly the reason why these things shouldn't be public, because the only point it's serving to make these things public is your point. It's like, it's nosiness. It's voyeurism. It's voyeurism. Yeah, we're all
But also, can I just say quickly, so The Telegraph did a piece when it came out, and they said 6 things we've learned from Osborne, Corbyn and Boris Johnson's tax returns, OK? And these 6 points are utterly ridiculous. They're not worth the paper they're written on. Corbyn paid a £100 fine. Big deal. Osborne paid more in tax than Corbyn earned. No, who cares? That's got nothing to do.
Boris earned more than Osborne and Cameron put together.
Exactly.
But I celebrate...
See, green eye jealousy.
No, I'm proud. I'm damn proud.
But I want people like that. I would love to see more successful people when they've run Sainsbury's brilliantly, or Tesco, or British Airways. I tell you what, I've made enough money. Actually, I'll take a pay cut and I'll go and be in the government. But they're not going to do it now.
And that's why
wouldn't they do it now?
Just because you're going to demand that their tax affairs are made public.
And that's why we've got such boring people in public life. I mean, you're talking about the royals being boring, but actually there's no one more boring than the politicians we're dealing with, because we hold people in public life to an unattainable standard.
So I wouldn't want
At the end of the day, I don't want to
see a sort of British reserve and
it goes back to what I said. It's a personal choice. I wouldn't want my tax affairs and my earnings in the public domain, because I've got nothing to hide, even though I am from Jersey originally.
I've got nothing to show.
We don't believe that.
I promise you.
It will dissuade people from going into public office.
And it will dissuade brilliant people from going into public life, which is what's happening now anyway.
Like who?
Like so many people. There are so many business people that I would
like to call to all the people in public life, please go and be MPs, go and run things, and you've got nothing to hide, and you will not be publicly shamed.
But Rachel, you said, I started and I said, you've got to ask yourself, what is the purpose? And you said, I want all of these made public because it will do, like, equality, equal pay, it's transparent. In Norway, they have this system. They have it where it's all transparent. It's not full of equal pay everywhere, because
they're better than us.
Norway is supposed to be the best country to live in the world.
But also they don't have this fixation with celebrity in the same way. They don't have this fixation of, well, what's somebody earning. They don't have this way of looking at money, and we value money in 2 ways. One, that it makes you better than people. Some people feel, and other people it creates a jealousy. And I think the purpose of the tax returns is nothing. He's been pressured into that, and I think that I don't think people should be pressured into.
Also, if there is anything untoward, the HMRC will find out, and that's when it becomes public. Otherwise, it's too much credit there. Otherwise, it's not our business.
All the dodgy stuff isn't going to be on this tax return. Don't be fooled.
Well, the dodgy stuff we're talking about here, unfortunately, is legal.
Yeah, well,
haven't done anything illegal.
That's a different argument, but he's getting hammered for money that he inherited. I
thought that was a real low blow.
What is wrong with that?
I think going after a bloke who's not here to defend himself, the Prime Minister's father, was a desperately low blow. That's about as low as you can get.
But I'm with Nigel Farage. When someone said you're going to publish a tax return, he's like, no.
No, I agree with that.
But I'll come back to what I said at the beginning. It should be a matter of choice. And I think if someone wants to, that's good. All power to their own. But if they say no, that's fair enough as well.
What is the natural conclusion of that? When you say no, people think you've got something to hide, and then you're under
Nigel
pressure.
Farage, we know. I mean, that's Nigel Farage's brand, isn't it? Just to be controversial.
No, but maybe he just doesn't want to.
What's controversial about saying I don't want you to have money? What's controversial about that?
It's nobody's business.
Just answer my question. What's controversial about Nigel Farage saying I'm not showing you it?
Well, there's a lot that's controversial about Nigel Farage.
There's nothing controversial about it.
Anyway, sorry, disagree with you there, Rachel.
You can show me yours in private.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, I'll show you mine. You show me yours.
And agree with you, Graham.
Thank you.
Completely agree with you.